Palun tervitada 19. sajandi Joost Halbertsmaad. Ja nüüd palun tervitada 21. sajandi Joost Halbertsmaad.
ABC.
An ABC-darium, a basic book, an ABC boy, a beginner.
Abt.
Abbot. He thought himself an abbot the day he came to the monastery.
At.
Cusp, tip, promontory. Ordersham is the name of the last village on the island of Fare. Ord from ard, by a trampling on the other vowels usual thereabouts.
Adebar.
Stalk. This word is unknown to the islanders, the Icelanders, and the English. The poet G.J. calls the stork a red-shanked bird. Where it nests, no woman dies in labor. When it leaves, then comes acrimony. He pitied him as a stork does a frog, falsely. Now that forefathers' notions matter less than cleanliness, nobody permits the storks to nest in their garden.
Ädri.
To have bacon behind your ears is not to hear, although you hear.
Eft.
Marriage. A wed wife is the woman a man is married to. The first marriage is the best. The devil invented second marriages. Second marriages for women were despised by the early Frisians. In Hulpen, a coastal city, there were only seafarers, men who often died in shipwrecks. But the widows did not seek a second husband. They and their children were supported by the general favor of the citizens. Even in the last century, this city had more widows than any other part of Frisia.
Eerem.
Arm. Do you not know that kings have long arms?
Offerte.
Oughts. Would you fob such mumbled oughts this offal off on me? Sawdust, sediment, draff for the swine, pig feed.
Old I nie.
Old and new. I move house between the old and new. That is, between the 1st and the 12th of May.
Old Sieglich.
Old silly, blessed. That pinny, old silly already. And ill silly is very sad. But luck silly, happy.
Amje.
To breathe. To breathe blessing words over a work. The poet used the word secret, but his publisher did not understand this subtlety and substituted sacred.
Appel.
Apple. There comes a ship with sour apples. The clouds predict rain. The baron has as many apples as pears. He's as poor as a louse. Not worth an apple, worth very little. But a little is better than nothing. He had to fight his way through difficulties, bite through a sour apple. Apples are beautiful only when they've been picked, and children only become a mother's delight when they've been brought into the world. A May apple is won, a May apple is lost. But as long as it was here, it was as good as an egg. So won, so run.
Aar.
Ear. That man makes a lot of noise. A louse has run in his ear. However it might end, it has not begun well. Like a suitor who first sets his sight on the daughter and then on the mother. I tore the ears off my head when Gjarle told me he was going to be a soldier. Kissing or slitting ears, there's quite a difference, said the girl. Was lukewarm water being poured over his ears, or was the boy really that intent on the ghost story? Okay, I must wait until she is 21 to marry, says her father. But she does not have ears for that.
ja nüüd väike keelekaste.
Mis seal on kirjas?
G. Gebak.
Pastries. Whoever invites 6 people to a meal of pancakes has a lot to bake. When the sun shines in the middle of a rainstorm, the devil's mother bakes pancakes in hell. And why shouldn't she? People enjoy absurd cases. But there's a story too. A baker's daughter was known to the southwesterners, who used to cross the sea, her bosom lactating, headed for the red cliff in Staveren. The devil, for the people of the past, was a baker, who after thieving bread from the poor, had taken on the shape of a cuckoo. He now takes pleasure in roasting all kinds of meat in the fire of hell, baking magical breads and mixing his necromantic drinks. The devil's dozen is the baker's dozen. Among my compatriots, many still fear that when 13 fellows are seated at the same table, the accursed number will soon revert to the right number. The survivors are the lucky dozen.
Green erva.
Grassland or sown grain. All mortal injuries must be paid off with either green goods or white silver. The green goods are the fields and any greenery growing on them, white money, silver coin.
ja nüüd ma määran teile veel tähti.
B. Bed.
Bed. A bed for rest. Also, a bed of carrots. But again, the bed of the Thames. Though fortune has often favoured the wicked, that man has not laid down in his bed, and before he closes his eyes for good, he will get his comeuppance. The Frisians and the English once held that one side was a good omen, the other bad. He stepped from bed on the wrong foot, peevish and morose. Something similar was felt by the Greeks and the Romans, always putting their best foot forward, entering auspiciously. The man of honour feels no bed hard, even when he makes another's bed and lies in misery himself. You may eat my food and drink my drink, but you can never say my prayers.
Barge marge.
Piglot, a black pudding. A fine pudding can be made from pig's blood, lard, raisins, spelt, and with syrup. But when there's neither groats nor suet, good blood makes bad puddings. Nobility is nothing but ancient riches.
Belgvol.
Bellyful. A bellyful, a measure of how much a man's stomach takes. A cart's bellyful, as much hay as reaches to the top edge of the sideboards. Gorge yourself with water like the thirsty in summer. Drown yourself in wine like the rich year-round, a pair of drinking companions, two Belch brothers.
Belt.
Belt. The ocean that goes round the entire globe is the sailor's belt. The belt is the Baltic Sea. According to an old geographer, Frisian women girded themselves with a heavy belt of solid silver.
Berenkeel.
Bear cub. Pieces on which the final touches have not been applied are bear cubs, still to be licked and lapped into shape by their mothers. Kind-hearted readers and singers suckle this bear cub.
Benedenburg.
Boneberg. The womb is the bone repository. The servant girl is pregnant. She has a belly full of bones. The English anciently said Boneberg for a boot, the resting place of a foot. While for them a womb was child home.
Bidarje.
To calm down. G.J. uses calm down to mean repent. The years will strike volatile youths with coldness and restrain the hearts of men.
Biedelaar.
Beggar. Beggars wander in every direction, but are never on the wrong track. W and Y. I do W, you do Y.
Var.
A certain number of ducks. Travel, travel, trip, tip.
Wij brengen.
To move from one place to another. Take that half-bread away. Take it where? To the poor widow. He who takes everything he's offered is not trusted. The girl takes the old man, takes his mind away.
Wien-ei.
Wind egg. There is membrane instead of shell on a wind egg. His aunt lays him no wind eggs. She is generous. He lives well. Witches like to sail lakes and seas in eggshells and steal the eggs when forming in the hens. So, take your half eggshells from the table after the meal and be sure to smash them to bits.
Ei. Ei brengen.
To bring in. Before the rain sets in, bring in the hay, the linen. He has nothing to bring in, he has nothing to contribute. Bringing in is mostly said about things that a man and a woman bring to a marriage.
Indwaan.
To put in. Put money in your pocket. A drop of cream and a tea.
Inlik.
Inlik. To make the in. To bring something back to someone's memory, to remind. There are caves and bays in the human heart, which Momus wants to use as windows. He turned into himself, as if into his own house. Teil on kindlasti palju küsimusi, aga meil pole aega.
Tulge sööma, juua ja lugema.